Welcome to the Daryl
and Ryan
show
program. Let's do it, Daryl. High five. Nope. Can't
Quarantine
do it.
high five.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I'm not sure how much longer we're going to be doing this show because of our ratings.
That's right, our ratings. Do you have the ratings in front of you? We should
Let me
pull that up.
pull that up real fast.
Pull that up real quick. So we started this show. This is episode 5, correct?
This is episode 5 we're doing. So.
And this started based on, we should be honest with ourselves. This started based on the opinion of like 8 people in the Sunday morning chat before church, one of which was my mom, that thought we should do this show. So we started off great there. How many views did we get the first week on YouTube?
First view, we got 330 views.
That was amazing.
I felt great.
Yes.
I felt like, man, this might take off.
Yep. And most shows start off pretty strong, so I'm expecting a little bit of a dip. So week 2, what did we get? Okay,
let's look at week 2, episode 2. We got 245 views.
245, that's fine. My mom didn't click refresh quite as many times.
So we went from 330 to 245.
It's respectable.
It's respectable. Okay.
Week 3, you think things will start to plateau a little bit. How many views do we get week 3, Daryl?
Let's talk about plateaus. 188.
188.
188.
Hey, that's still triple digits. That's still triple digits.
But you see the process. You see how this is playing out.
I don't know which way I should make the graph go. And then finally, last week, episode 4, what did we get?
84 views.
84 views. So based on that trend, if you're one of the lucky 20 watching this video, I'd just like to say thanks again, Mom, for all your views.
This show is dying on the vine, people. Let's be honest.
I don't know. I'd like to attribute it to the nice weather. It's been nicer out.
Yeah, but people have their phones everywhere, so...
That's a good point. You could be watching this anywhere.
Hey, this is my second attempt at trying to have a YouTube show that's probably going to fail.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
You had another YouTube channel?
I had another, back in seminary, I had a show called Daryl and Friends.
Oh, yeah, Daryl and Friends. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and...
So whenever we were, like, in the process of hiring Daryl, I found out about this, so that was how I watched that. We all watched it, and we still hired you, so that's good.
I'm happy. I still got hired. And maybe we'll play the theme song for you. Maybe we won't. Maybe we'll find a way to tie in the intro.
Daryl and Friends.
Who knows?
Daryl and Friends. Friends and Daryl, but mostly it's about me. Maybe you too can be my friend, but just remember, it's mostly my show. Amen.
But anyways, that was a failed YouTube show. So whatever I try to do to get a little bit of celebrity, it falls flat, and... I'm not going to be famous. That's all I'm learning.
It's part of life, Daryl.
So at which point do we just wrap up the show? When we hit like the original 8 viewers, do we just say, hey, that's it, people?
I don't know. Depends if my mom keeps paying us to do this or not. Just kidding. My mom didn't pay us to do this.
Yeah. So as Ryan said, some of you're thinking, man, being stuck at home, this isn't fun. I'm going to go outside. I can't wait to go outside.
I've been thinking that, yeah.
Well, guess what? When you go outside, there's bad news for you.
What?
We have murder hornets. Murder hornets have arrived to North America.
How does this happen?
Why does this happen? How does this happen? Great mystery out there. But all I know is this. Regular hornets give me a hard time. And now we got murder hornets.
When you were a kid, did you guys talk about killer bees? Like, I was kind of scared of killer bees when I was a kid. And then when I got older, I found out, that's not really realistic. That's not going to happen.
So what happened, I was a kid. Like, killer bees, that was a issue. People were scared. Played a video in 8th grade biology. Video of killer bees. And these bees were horrible. I'm not sure who filmed this stuff. They were on like a puppy, and they're just bees, and the puppy's trying to walk away.
Not the puppy.
And I'm like, why are they showing? We're kids. Like, why are we watching this? And there was some little girl trying to swat away the bees. And I hope these were dramatizations, because who's gonna film like a kid and a puppy being attacked by killer bees and not help?
That is awful.
That is awful.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So, speaking of childhood.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, did you ever have to do, like, art projects or anything when you were a
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Child? Yeah. Every year, at least it seemed like maybe even a couple times a year, we had big projects that we had to do. So I remember making Yeah, a model of the horseshoe curve. Have you ever been to the horseshoe curve, Daryl?
I have. That's a thing.
It is, yeah. It's a railroad thing. It's nearby. Maybe once we're allowed to go places, we can go. It'd be kind of fun.
That'd be fun.
So I made a model of that. I made a castle. It was like some medieval theme.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. By saying that I made those things, I mean that my grandma made them. We're talking pre-show. We prep pre-show about this kind of stuff, and we're talking about how, little kid art projects, or you give an art project to a kid, it means that the parents, or in my case, my grandma, was very involved. So my grandma, she still lives with my parents.
She's a lovely lady.
She is. Doey is what we affectionately call her. Doey, if you're watching, hi.
Hi,
Love
Doey.
you. And Doey has lived with my parents since I was in elementary school, and she's super crafty. So Doey always helped me with
Did you crafty?
Crafty.
Was that a pun? She's crafty?
Oh, I don't mean like cunning. I mean
Okay.
like she's not a sneaky person.
That was a great pun that went under the radar, but
No, I mean like she's good at crafts, like
Okay.
arts and crafts.
Okay.
So she helped me get some pretty good A's on my projects, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly.
So, when your kid's like, I guess, a really little kid, I mean, I don't have kids, so I don't know about this, but I almost feel like when they give art projects to like first or second graders, they're really judging parents. You're like I remember coming home one day and my artwork got graded. My mom was upset because she's the one that did the work.
Right.
So the teacher was actually grading my mom.
Yeah.
And what would happen as a kid, my mom wanted me to pass 4th grade. So she did some school projects for me. The statute of limitations is up on this, people.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so-
I don't think they can knock you back to 4th grade.
So what happened, it was like this, it was this blue construction paper, and it was like glitter. It was like, I guess it was rain. I forget what it was. And I brought it to school. And the messed up thing is I got an A on it. The teacher gave me an A. But all my classmates knew I didn't have that ability. Being judged by other kids are mean. Like, they just stared at it, and they're like, look, we know you didn't do this. And I'm like, yeah, but I got an A, so.
You know what else was really tough as a kid, like homework-wise?
What?
Did you ever have to do word searches?
Yes, word searches.
It would take 2 hours for me and my mom to complete the word searches.
Yeah, and this was before you had internet and Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
You had to get like a dictionary and a book and pull it out. And for some of our middle schoolers who are watching this right now, because our demographic, we have middle schoolers and adults who watch this, and
It's crazy.
but it keeps on declining.
Keeps declining, yeah.
So who knows what the demographic for this show is now. But, back in the day, be happy you have internet. Be happy you have a Chromebook.
Yes.
We had none of that.
We did not.
I had a Webster's Dictionary.
I had a stone tablet.
I had a thesaurus, and no, that's not a dinosaur, because that sounds really cool. When I first heard about a thesaurus, I was so excited. It's like, was that Jurassic Park? No, it was not. Word searches were horrible, people.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
horrible.
And real quick, we don't want to be too controversial, but we might have some teachers watching. Teachers, if you assign word searches, can you please tell us right down there in the comments, what does that teach kids? Because maybe I'm just missing something, but I never felt like I learned anything except for anger management.
Hey, and all views on this show are not endorsed by MGBC.
That's true. Yeah, we should probably mention that.
These are personal views of
Yes.
Daryl and Ryan.
Yes.
So.
So it's the Daryl and Ryan show.
But if you have any angry emails, you forward them to Pastor Brian.
That's correct.
That's correct. He
Yes.
doesn't watch the show, so we're okay.
Yes.
Unless he watches this
He's going to
episode.
watch this. Okay, so that just sparked a funny story. So my dad, he's a very diligent note taker. He likes to track things. He likes to, if he's shopping for something, he's going to get all the right info.
I like your dad. I like Greg.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we have to have my dad on sometime.
Yeah,
but
we will.
So my dad, he had us fill out these. We had a little booklet, look just like this. It was in every vehicle, and every time we filled up the gas, we had to write down the mileage and how much gas we put in. So that's how he'd track his gas mileage. And finally, I got to the point where I was like, he doesn't look at this. Like, it's just, I'm doing busy work.
Yeah.
It's a waste of 10 seconds of my time. So I write down in the tablet, Dad, do you even look at this? And the next time I went to get gas, there was a note that said, yes, I do.
But seriously, though, this week is Teachers Appreciation Week when we're filming this, and we do want to say thank you for the work that all teachers are doing right now.
Absolutely.
Especially because, if you sign up to be a teacher, you want to be in the classroom with students, and you're doing extra work, so students can still be educated. We do want to say thank you for all the work that all teachers are doing right now during this time.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't imagine how difficult it is. My wife's a college professor and had to move everything online. Did a tremendous job with her students. I know a lot of college, high school, elementary, middle school teachers. Everybody out there's scrambling and doing an awesome job. So yeah, we really do appreciate that, even though we joke about word searches.
Yeah. All right. So while you're stuck indoors, I'm not sure if you know about this or not. Have you ever, you know what The Sims are, Ryan?
The Sims?
Yeah.
Like the fake people?
Yeah, the fake people.
Yes, my sister, Labrina, used to play that, I believe.
Okay, here's my problem. I can't do that stuff anymore because it seemed like at times my virtual life was better than my actual life. So then the temptation becomes like, man, why can't I do, I'm invested way more in virtual reality than actual reality, because my virtual self is going on all these adventures, and here I am on the couch, and I don't know, I feel like virtual Daryl was just like owning life at a certain point. So I'm telling you this, so once all this is over, try get out there, have fun, do like, I don't know about you, but once this quarantine is over, the first thing I'm gonna do is go to a movie theater.
Yeah, you do like to frequent movies.
Actually, I realized that just defeated the whole purpose of me trying to live life to the fullest, because I was sitting on one couch to get in my car while I'll be sitting in, to drive to movie theater to where I'll be sitting in, to come back home,
but the TV,
to sit again.
The screen in the theater is way bigger than the TV at your house.
And that's justification right there.
That's right.
So anyways, find a way to live life to the fullest. So I'm trying to get Ryan, what will you do, though?
What will I do whenever we break quarantine? On a serious note, the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is singing in a congregation with a lot of people. I love singing with people and singing together. And I've just missed that every week. So I'm really looking forward to that. Now, what will I do, like, first, like when I can hop in my car and just go do something?
Yeah. I'll
eat inside at Mamie's. I miss eating at Mamie's. I've still been getting takeout. Support local businesses for sure, please. But I miss just sitting down and enjoying a good meal in a restaurant. Yeah. So if you are watching this, please do support Mamie, support tradition, support local, support Subway, support our local businesses in the community. And like we have to list all the local businesses now. Yeah. I'm just kidding. We're not going to.
Okay, I don't know all, but whatever our local businesses, please support those businesses, because they are just great to have our community, and we need to rally and support them.
Yep. Are we going to move on to the next segment? Do we have anything else?
Yeah.
So something we've been talking about behind the scenes at the Daryl and Ryan show is if we manage...
Yeah, Daryl and Ryan show. Brant.
That's right.
Kept on saying Ryan and Daryl.
Hey.
I'm talking mean to Brant because he's not here.
That's right.
Right now to defend himself.
Yes. So currently our cameraman is us. So Brant can't defend himself. Brant was our first guest, so we have to be thankful for that. Yeah. We love you, Brant.
We love you, Brant.
I can't. I'm holding a microphone.
Right there.
If you wonder why I'm holding a microphone and Daryl isn't, it's because we only have one of those camera mics, so I have to hold one.
And Ryan looks like a DJ. He just looks really cool.
Thank you.
If I do that, I look dorky.
No,
sorry.
I wouldn't say that, but that's fine.
Thanks.
So something we've talked about, if we make it past the 5th episode here, I guess we've made it to the 5th episode, is just sharing a little bit of our stories. So today, Daryl's going to share a little bit of his story, and I might ask questions as we go. But Daryl, go ahead, tell us.
And as if you've been watching the show, you know I'm going through the Gospel of Matthew, and part of my story today, it ties in to my devotional. And in Matthew chapter 11, you have John the Baptist. He's in prison, and let me start in verse 1. And it came to pass, when Jesus had finished commanding his 12 disciples, he departed thence to teach and preach in their cities. Now when John heard in the prison the works of the Christ, he sent by his disciples and said unto him, Are you he that is supposed to come, or should we look for another? The reason why that is really important, When Jesus first showed up on the scene, John the Baptist was so excited. He said, "This is the Lamb of God," and John was all for Jesus. Eventually, John went through a hard patch in life, and while in prison, he began having serious doubts about Jesus. And why do I want to talk about this? Because my testimony is a story of doubt. It's a story of not always being sure of this Christianity thing. And maybe for some of you right now, you're just going through difficult times. Maybe you're having doubts as well. So just kind of want to briefly share my story with you guys.
All right, so Daryl, let's just take it way back. Tell us your salvation story. How did you come to Christ?
Okay, so my parents got divorced when I was 3 years old, and eventually I went to public school for the first through elementary school, and my mom wanted to put me in a private school, and I ended up in a Christian private school from 6th grade through 12th grade. At the summer before my senior year, I just went through a lot of different transitions in life, and it got to the point where I was really questioning God. And, I said a prayer when I was 13, so I thought I was saved and good, but God really wasn't a part of my life. And the summer when I was turning 18, going to my senior year, just had all these questions about, is God real? What's going on? And I got challenged at one Bible one Bible study to actually read the New Testament all the way through. And I read the New Testament 3 times that summer. Wow. Yeah, and that is a wow, right?
That is a wow.
Yeah, thank you.
Dedication.
Thanks. And reading through the New Testament 3 times, I encountered Jesus in especially a unique way, and I knew I wanted him to be the savior of my life. And I also felt called to share his word with others. So my senior year in high school, it was great. If this was like a straight to Christian DVD story, that would have made money. that would have made bank. But anyways, the story didn't end there. After I graduated high school, I didn't go straight to Liberty University. I kind of floundered, trying to figure some things out. I remember I was working this job that I just despised. So if you are working a job you hate, my heart goes out to you. So it was in my shift. It was working in fast food, and I had to take the garbage out. And what happened, I was taking this garbage bag out of the trash can, and I was trying to throw it into the dumpster, and somehow the bag got hooked on something. And as I threw it, like the bag opened, right? And like all this trash just began like slow motion. I'm like, no. And it's like I'm covered in trash juice and everything.
Oh, trash juice. I hate that. That word just makes me want to throw up.
That's what I think I did that. I think I did. Oh. But, going through all of that, I remember covered in trash juice. It's late at night, and my life is going nowhere where I thought it was going to go. And I just got really frustrated with God. I said, God, I trusted you. I tried to give my life to you, and I just hit this dead end. What's going on with this? And that's when, and another time I had all these questions about Christianity and faith that no one really could answer. Maybe I didn't do enough research, but with questions I couldn't resolve and bad scenarios, it created the perfect recipe for doubt and unbelief to grab my heart. And
so this was how long after you got saved?
This was a year.
About a year, okay.
Yeah, year. Yeah. So 19 through 20, they were just really just painful years of just doubt and not knowing anything. And I remember I got to one point, I was in my bedroom, and I said this: if there's no God, that means life is just an accident. That if it's just pure evolution, and people go back and forth on, is evolution part of Christianity or not trying to have that conversation, but just the whole idea, if there's evolution apart from God, that God is completely off the table with that, then life is just an accident, that there was no real purpose or meaning or significance. So what's the point of falling in love? What actually still hasn't worked out for me, but different story. So But yeah, what's
Should we edit that part out?
I don't nah. Let's just keep
Leave it in.
Leave it in.
It's getting raw, people.
Yeah, but what's the purpose of falling in love? What's the purpose of trying to find meaning none of that matters because everything ends in death. And that made me super depressed. And I remember calling out in my bedroom, saying, God, if you are real, I cannot just blindly believe in you. So what happened, I began, when I was 20, just really began trying to just study different religions and different thought processes and just different belief systems when it comes to God. And for me, I can't tell you about your own story. You got to figure that out for yourself. For me, it was the evidence of the resurrection, that Jesus rose from the dead. That gave a bedrock and just a foundation for my faith to grow. And I won't lie, even now at 33, are there moments when I have doubts or things like that? Of course I do.
Yeah, that's completely natural.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this whole situation, has there been moments where I just, doubt's it's been there. But here's the thing. Doubt isn't your enemy. Unresolved doubt is your enemy.
Heard that in a lesson once. I think it was from you.
It was from me, yeah.
That's a really good point, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to recycle good quotes.
Yeah. No, that's really good.
Thanks.
So to backtrack real quick. So you said evidence for the resurrection's really what kind of brought you back around.
Yeah.
Was there any point in particular, anything you read in particular that kind of got you to that point, or was it more just kind of a culmination of things?
It was kind of a culmination of things, but a book I would recommend is Lee Strobel's The Case for Christ. If you're not a reader, there's a movie too, so
that's for me.
Check that out. But yeah, Lee Strobel's The Case for Christ. A debate between Gary Habermas, who was the world's leading expert on the resurrection. I think he still might be. And he
How do you get that distinction? How do you become the leading expert?
You write more books than anyone else.
Huh. All right, fair enough. Sorry, keep going.
He had a debate with the world's leading atheist at the time, Antony Flew. Once again, how do you become a world's leading atheist? I don't know. You write a lot of books.
Yeah,
so they had a debate about the resurrection of Christ. And you can probably still order that book. I would just recommend that as well. And just seeing how Christianity has played out throughout the ages. In fact, that if you read 1 Corinthians 15, Paul says, if there's no resurrection, there's no Christianity. So he's making a truth statement in that phrase. If you want to disprove Christianity, just disprove the resurrection. And for 2,000 years, you've had some people walk away from the faith, but you have other people who have tried to say there was no resurrection. They've been convinced by the evidence and come to the faith. And once again, for your own story, you're going to have to try to figure things out for yourself. I know that's my personal story in all of this. And I'll share this with you. When does doubt grab my heart the most is when I have a lack of obedience in my life. When do I see my faith really soar is when there's obedience in my life. So this whole idea, you're always going to have, if you have high disobedience, you're always going to have high doubt. If you have obedience in your life, you'll have seasons of doubt, but it won't be to the point that you'll just fall away and walk away from the things of Christ.
I think it's important making that distinction too, because I think a lot of us, whenever we have our doubts, we think it leads to our disobedience. And it is a cycle, right?
Yeah.
You disobey, you start to doubt, you disobey a little bit more. But disobedience is really at the core of that. I think that's kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's where it starts. And then the doubt starts to creep in.
Yeah.
So, in your high points, or even in times of your life where it's not all that difficult, or maybe you're just kind of coasting, that's a great time to practice obedience whenever it's not that difficult. So then whenever it does become difficult, you're still be able to stand firm.
Yeah, and I would totally agree with that. And you say things sometimes better than I do. So thanks for clearing that up. But like I said, look, doubt is part of the human experience. Yeah. Jesus said John the Baptist was the greatest man to be born outside of himself. And John had doubts. If you have doubts, that doesn't make you a horrible Christian or anything like that. But don't let your doubts be unresolved.
Yeah.
And that's something I would just encourage you guys to sort out. If you have doubts, try to sort them out. But make sure your obedience level to Christ is high while you're pursuing, while you're having doubt.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Daryl. Anything else you wanted to share? That's kind of what I had in mind for the day. But
I think that's everything I have. I mean, I'd love to go outside, but murder hornets.
yeah, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I think hopefully next week I'll be able to share some of my background because it's kind of just cool seeing different perspectives. Daryl and I come from very different backgrounds and perspectives.
But it don't matter if you're black or white.
I don't know if we have the rights to the Michael Jackson song. I'm going to have to edit that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, so speaking of music, Michael Jackson, good segue.
Yeah.
Every week I try to leave you with a song or a playlist or something like that to check out. And this week I highly recommend checking out. There's a new song from For King and Country called Together. If I understand the whole story behind this correctly, they were already writing it and kind of already had some of this stuff recorded before the global crisis, before the shutdown. And they included one of my favorite Christian artists, Kirk Franklin.
Really? Kirk Franklin?
Kirk Franklin for King and Country. Kirk Franklin is my favorite Christian talker of all time.
Hey, this is a great story. When I first got here, I requested to Ryan to play the song Hosanna in youth group. And Ryan, what did you do?
So I assumed he meant the song Hosanna by Hillsong because that would make sense for a worship song. Now, Kirk Franklin has a Hosanna song too. So it's Wednesday, right before youth. Darren and I didn't really catch up since we talked about this request. And I was like, Daryl, you meant the Hillsong version, right? And you said...
I said, yeah, why would I think of another? Why would you ask me about the Kirk Franklin one?
No, I think your response was, no, I meant Kirk Franklin. Like, you had me a little scared for a second.
What can I say? I'm a trickster.
And if you listen to the different, so they're very, very different songs.
They very genre style different.
Yeah, I love Kirk Franklin music. I grew up on that though. I love Kirk Franklin, and so he's on this, and I call him my favorite Christian talker because the dude never sings. He just kind of talks. Now, what I realized recently, I watched a live concert he did from home. Dude's a phenomenal musician, playing keyboard, and he arranges all this stuff. But when you listen to it, all you hear is him just going, "What's his name?" So. Yeah, something like that. Our battery died, so we had to replace it.
Even the battery was like, I don't want to be here watching this show. I'm declining ratings too.
So anyway, Together for King Country, Kirk Franklin, and then Tori Kelly, who's a phenomenal vocalist. Again, if I remember this whole thing, I've tried to listen to them kind of talk about it because the song's really cool. They had her record after lockdown. She recorded from her home, and they added it to this song. And it's so good. It's very timely. It's very appropriate for right now, and it combines some of my favorite Christian artists together. So check it out.
Good. Check it out. Well, I think that's everything for this week.
Yes, I think we've done plenty.
All right. So this is goodbye from the Daryl
and Ryan
show.
Exclusive.